actually trying to go over the water a little bit, but that is, oh, that sucks. Okay. Come on, Sean. Another one?
Oh, you're not gonna like that. Hit the mat. You got lucky, I guess. Good bump. That'll work. That'll be good. Oh, sit down. Or no. did. I think I just need to pretty much take the same line. About 8 miles per hour.
Oh, 8.8 actually.
Okay. No. It didn't do any. It actually just came right, man. It had 0.1 degrees offline. Wow. So well.
Stubborn is an incurable insomniac. It never takes no for an answer. To stubborn, impossible is just an opinion. The end is where stubborn begins and keeps on going until it's got nothing left. And then, stubborn finds another gear. You know what we make. Stubborn makes us who we are.
Back nine and rolled in a couple putts. I mean, that was kind of the difference there between the front and the back. Conditions were pretty perfect. It's man, it was the temperature, weather, just it couldn't get much better than it was today. I played pretty well. I had 4 holes. I had just a bad 3-putt on 7 and. And obviously bad bogey on 13 and then double on 16, which is definitely a hole that's really just 4 holes that kind of killed me today, which is a bummer, but nothing to hang my head about too much.
I think there's a lot of quality stuff in there. I just had to, just make the key moments of, getting the right up and downs at the right time, building that momentum and trying to take it from there. Because right now, I got off to a bad start. It was 4 over through 7 holes. I mean, I'm just trying to claw myself back into the tournament from there. So from pretty much 8 on, I actually played some solid golf, just didn't score as well.
Oh. So 3 over 75 for Jason Day. Phil Mickelson, though, 2 under 70. Good spot, Brandel.
Yeah, he said he was
70, good spot, Brandel.
Yeah, he said he was fractionally off. These would be big fractions. I mean, they're following Phil Mickelson around today. Johnny Miller famously said that Ben Hogan might have gotten sick watching Craig Perry's golf swing. Craig Perry could hit it really straight. Ben Hogan would have gotten sick today if he'd have followed Phil Mickelson around. But that's what you expect from Phil. I mean, he missed the fairway miles right at the first hole, hit it 46 feet away, made the putt for birdie. Miles right at the second hole, way left at the third hole. He missed the 11th hole, the fairway by 70 yards. Those are not my fractions. Those are Phil's fractions. Phil fights hard. He's got lots of skill. Phil fights hard. He's got lots of skill. But the reason he's likely not to win here is because it's less than 50% of the fairways. He doesn't have the bat speed that he used to when he was here. He was 12 under par on the par 5s when he won here in 2010, 13 under par on the par 5s when he won here in 2006. Hugely important. Many more great drivers of the golf ball in this era. How about Ricky Fowler?
I love the shot he hit into 15. I think today in the conditions and that every now and again someone hits a shot. He was on top of that hill. I think a lot of people might have even laid up. And that flag, I got to reiterate, I mean, it caused Garcia a lot of pain. I mean, it caused Garcia a lot of pain, and that it was right on the edge of a little ridge there. And it might have pulled the fairway wood there from the top of the hill, but that was just a glorious shot. So, for Ricky, he certainly didn't give up the chase today. Honourable mentions, too. Adam Hadwin, 69, and Schauffele, too, 71. I mean, they're quietly amongst the pack. So I think we are going to focus on the heavyweights for a reason. Yeah. There's a couple of guys there that are just sort of irritating them as well.
Justin Thomas, Dustin Johnson, we know they're capable of going low. At some point, they may need to after this sluggish start.
It looks like they're going to have to go low and get some help with the weather. Jason Day at 3 over par. He's 9 shots behind already.
Put the new irons in the bag.
Right. Yeah. I was talking to somebody about it. If he was using the clubs that he won with just 2 months ago, and now he's hitting them too high, well, that's not clubs. That's golf swing. That's the delivery of the golf club. And so, the weather's going to play a factor. To what degree, we really and truly do not know. But the scores of 2 over, 3 over, 4 over, I mean, historically, for all intents and purposes, their Masters is over.
You guys agree with that?
The winners come out of the top 10. Remember the last 20 years after day one.
That's right. 8th or better.
Yeah, mathematically it shouldn't be, but it has.
But it just too many. Seems to be how it plays out here.
Too many great players playing well, driving it well, chipping it well. And then Jordan Spieth leading.
Sergio Garcia, the defending champion. We know this is a humbling game. Garcia made a huge number at the 15th hole with, as he said, without mishitting a shot. We'll tell you what happened when we come back live from the Masters.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World in Bloomington, we'll beat any competitor's deal. We'll beat any sale, any advertised deal, any discounted deal, any negotiated deal. I guarantee the best deal on your next appliance purchase.
John's trying to decide to get this KitchenAid refrigerator from Dick Van Dyke or the Lumberyard store. Dick Van Dyke has fast repair service.
They don't.
A free 5-year protection plan.
They don't.
After delivery and warranty, we'll save him $131. He's buying from Dick Van Dyke Appliance World.
How do you want to live? Parent of the Year? Check. Making her heart skip a beat. Thump. One of a kind. Like a boss. Like a pro. We couldn't agree more. We are professional grade. GMC.
Right now, you can get 0.9% APR for 60 months on a new 2018 Camry or lease Camry for $199 a month.
Toyota, let's go places.
More and more people are finding themselves in a Chevrolet for the first time. Trying something new can be exciting, empowering, downright exhilarating. See for yourself why Chevrolet is the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall.
Switch into a new Chevy now. Get 20% below MSRP on all Cruze and Malibu LT models. That's over $5,400 on this Chevy Malibu. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
There's going to be 16 of us. Are you sure?
The bus is down, but we've got a spot. Head down to the light, take a right, follow Coach Kevin.
Sorry again that we're fully booked. This is the best we could do on such short notice.
This is amazing. Thank you so much.
Treating others like we'd like to be treated.
Come on in, guys. Check this out.
Has always been our guiding principle.
get to that in a moment. The golf course actually played more than a shot easier today than it did in the first round a year ago, and there were 10 rounds in the 60s versus 2 last year, and we had 20 rounds versus 11 under par a year ago. Now to Sergio Garcia. He shot 81. It's the highest ever opening round score by a defending champion. Out 38, and you can see the big issue came at the par. The big issue came at the par 5 15th, went for it in 2. The mayhem ensued. Here's Sergio Garcia after that round of 81.
I don't know. I wish I could tell you. It's one of those things. I feel like, I don't know. It's the first time in my career where I make a 13 without missing a shot. Simple as that. You know, I felt like I hit a lot of good shots, and unfortunately the ball just didn't want to stop. I don't know. You know, it's one of those things. So it's just unfortunate, but you know, it's what it is.
Sergio, you played the rest of the round with 1 over, so do you take something first? So do you take something from that, or does
Not really.
the team linger?
Not really. I mean, obviously, I shot 81, which is not great, and I mean, I was fighting hard. I was doing quite well. Obviously, had a good possibility on 13 to get back to even and kind of keep my round going after not having a great start, and fortunately, we didn't hit the right club there and hit a great shot and left myself no putt. Then hit a pretty good birdie putt and unfortunately lipped out, and then you know, bogey the next, and then obviously the rest is history.
Sergio, can you describe the difficulty that round 15?
Well, you saw it. I don't think I need to describe it. You know, so it's not the first time it's been there, so it's not new. But you know, with the firmness of the greens and everything, it felt like the ball was going to stop, and unfortunately, for whatever reason, it didn't want to.
Right after a tough day, Sergio showing class, stopping and giving the media what it wanted and needed. Tommy Nakajima made 13 on 13 back in 1978. Tom Weisskopf picture right there. Frustration at number 12. He made 13. And now Sergio Garcia. He hit a second shot in the water, going for the green in 2, and then 4 wedges in the water. One of those things, it happens.
Well, we all learned a new word today, octuple. None of us knew that that's what a 13 was on a par 5. The co-founder, the co-architect of this golf course was one of the most articulate, intelligent men that ever played the game of golf. He wrote once, on the golf course, a man may be the dogged victim of inexorable fate, be struck down by an appalling stroke of tragedy, become the hero of unbelievable melodrama, or the clown in a side-splitting tragedy. He was the hero last year, and he was the victim of a tragedy this year.
Frank, he made eagle there. It was really the decisive blow. Eagle there in the final round a year ago.
It's a cruel game. We talked last night about often people win at the expense of others. I mean, we don't give out a trophy for everybody. But you're right, he toiled for 19 years to win it, and then he doesn't even really get to enjoy it. But also, the numbers don't always tell us that. Jordan Spieth hit 11 fairways today. Sergio Garcia hit 11 fairways. Garcia hit 1 more green. He hit 12. Jordan Spieth hit 11. 15 shots different. I mean, there's a fine line sometimes in this game. He went for that par 5 and 2.
You gotta love it. Yeah. You know, I love watching him play golf, and I love the fact that he goes for it there. And you hear him talk about he just really truly didn't miss hit a golf shot. He just couldn't get the golf ball to stop spinning off the front of the green. But I want to look at what a Masters champion does. You see what his score was on the 16th hole?
Bounced back
birdie. Made birdie. Came right back and made birdie. And hats off to him. There you go.
There is precedent for a big comeback after a disastrous start at the Masters. Curtis Strange in 1985 opened with a round of 80, and on Sunday afternoon he was tied for the lead, standing over that second shot at 13, hit it in Rays Creek, made bogey, and lost to Bernard Langer. You expect a good bounce back from Sergio Garcia. That's what the great champions do. Hao Tong Lee, young player from China, very impressive today. Tim Rosefort joins us to tell us more about Hao Tong Lee.
Davis Love III with a birdie attempt.
How long is it going to take to install our new finance and HR system?
No idea. I couldn't get a straight answer.
Honesty. Such a lonely word.
Everyone is so untrue.
Honesty is hardly ever heard.
We should get Workday, huh?
Davis Love III never misses a teaching opportunity.
Workday gives you the truth, and that sounds pretty great. Workday, built for the future.
We're 1,000 miles from comfort. We have traveled land and sea. But as long as you are with me, there's no place I'd rather
At Avis,
be.
you have control with the Avis app. Book, choose, upgrade, or add a car seat with the tap of a finger. Avis, get our best rates on avis.com.
In Ireland, you don't just play golf. You walk in the footsteps of giants along the Causeway Coastal Route and drive the fairways of legends at Royal Portrush, host of the 2019 Open Championship. You challenge soaring dunes at Enniscrone, marvel along the wild Atlantic Way, and face off against nature at the links of Old Head. You write your own storied adventure in Ireland, home of champions. Begin your journey at ireland.com/golf now.
You're playing a Pro V1, right? You're back there.
Won by Jordan Spieth. Also played reasonably well at the U.S. Open. Remember there, he made the cut. Here's Hao Tong Lee.
Actually, U.S. Open was my first major ever in my whole career. And actually, I got a lot of experience from there. I've been improved a lot since last year, since the Open. Got a lot of confidence from there. So I think I just need to keep what I'm doing now. I think one day we'll become a good player.
Like the humility from Hao Tong Lee. He's already a very good player. And how about this? The last three winners of the Dubai Desert Classic, Hao Tong Lee, Sergio Garcia, Danny Willett. Willett won in 16, then won the Masters. Garcia won Dubai in 2017, then won the Masters. Could it be Hao Tong Lee? From Dubai to Augusta, Georgia. Tim Rosefort, our insider, joins us now. That's quite a debut for Hao Tong Lee at the Masters. What do you know about Hao Tong Lee?
It could be Hao Tong Lee this week. If you think about what he's done thus far, taking out McIlroy, shooting at 63 at Birkdale, paired with Ernie. Ernie liked the way he played, didn't back off, and he certainly didn't back off today. When he had that win against McIlroy, I did some reporting. I talked to Ray Bofols, a former big breaker.
At the match play.
At the match play, sorry. No, actually going back to McIlroy over in the desert in Dubai. Yeah.
Dubai,
yeah. And so I ran into Ray Bofols, who was an Australian big break guy, sort of became his mentor and told me this kid will win a major soon. He doesn't get nervous. He makes good golf swings at the right times to aggressive targets. And you think of what he did today, going into 12 when he hit what he described as a smash 9-iron in there and makes birdie. First time he plays in the Masters, right? He's taken on 12, does the same thing at 15, absolutely no fear. And he's a guy, you know, when he shoots that 63, 53 at Birkdale, Brandel says on air that this is going to change the game. Why? Because he represents 1.5 billion people in the country of China, and that speaks to a lot of where the initiatives that Augusta National is going right now.
And he represents well in the media. Tim speaks pretty good English. How did he learn?
Surprised to see that. You know, for most people from that part of the world, when they come out and they try to play golf in the U.S. PGA Tour, they're still struggling with the language. He taught himself basically, Rich, by speaking Mandarin into his portable phone and then seeing the interpretation coming out. He's very comfortable with it. He's comfortable in this environment over here, and it'll be interesting to see when he gets turned up. But by all accounts, by his MO and what he's done thus far in a very early start of his PGA Tour career, you know, he is a guy who can seemingly handle the pressure. But again, it's a Masters on the weekend. Let's see how he handles it.
How about the fiery American, Patrick Reed?
Patrick Reed's trending. You know, you look at what he's done. T2 at Valspar, T7 at API, T9 at the match play coming in here. He really wanted it this year, Rich. You know, he came off an offseason that you really can't call it that. First offseason he ever had, but he's going through all this new equipment. Remember, he had trouble getting into some equipment last year. He said, you know, he's out there in 20-degree wind chill, rain, wind. It's nobody else is out there. This is down in Houston. And he comes away with a bag, and he showed it to me at Bay Hill a couple of weeks ago. He had 7 different equipment companies represented in that bag. You know, he signed he got out of his equipment company deal. He got into a clothing deal, which allowed him the opportunity to do what he wanted to do. A lot of players fight through this. You know, they sign big deals and then they're never comfortable. He's extremely comfortable with what he's got right now. Let's see if it comes out down to him putting on the red and black here on Sunday. The Tiger Woods colors into town, not far from the school, Augusta State, where he played practice rounds here at least once a year.
And he's handled pressure when wearing red, white, and blue.
He certainly has, too. In the
Ryder Cup. Tim, thank you.
Thank you, Rich.
Tim Rosefort, our insider. We know about the great history of Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets here at Augusta National. Co-founder Bobby Jones, Georgia Tech man. So, too, is Matt Kuchar, 68. Good start. Remember, he was tied for 4th here a year ago. We'll look at Matt Kuchar in a moment.